was that we decided that we needed a constitution to govern our conduct. We didn't want a one-man show. And so the likes of Dr. Zato in their political science class would always take us back to the state of nature, the Leviathan, the Hopeson state, and how we all decided to surrender what we can do freely willy to the Leviathan, now called the Republic, the state, governed by a set of laws, including the 1992 Constitution. And the Constitution clearly provides, and based on the history of Ghana, if you recall, there was a time that they claimed that the first president of the Republic, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, after a judicial outcome, and he never liked it, the justices who were in that matter were removed in a very capricious and whimsical manner. So, to prevent that from happening, when we put together the 1979 Constitution, we started gradually putting in what you call security of tenure for our justices. And so if you recall the celebrated case of Tufo and Attorney General and all the things that happened there, subsequently. So in 1992, when farmers, drivers, tailors, among others, decided to put this beautiful document called the 1992 Constitution together, they had in it an Article 146, which article basically says that, look, our judges, superior court judges, are given what you call security of tenure. That is to say, you cannot remove them unless on proven, the word is proven, stated misbehavior, incompetence, or infirmity of mind. Now, this is what the Constitution and its framers have said. Now, what has happened, basically, is that President John Dramani Mahama finds himself in the position of Pontius Pilate, where the Pharisees, Sadducees, and what have you had to present a petition, and here, for the removal of the Chief Justice, and basically for the Constitution, and how the Constitution has been interpreted over the period. The president is only a conveyor belt in the circumstance. And so again, like Pontius Pilate, what you would have to do is to consult the Council of State. In this case, you do not have the benefit of washing your hand, asking for soap and water to wash your hands. No. The Constitution clearly gives a duty. A duty is cast on the president to act in a particular manner. Having consulted the elders, and here I call it the Council of States, a prima facie case was determined against the Chief Justice now removed. It's instructive to note that while this process penned, the president suspended her. I think it's important I make this point. If you recall in 2015, one Richard Nyama of the Progressive Nationalist Front or so, or Forum, presented a petition to President Mahama then. And a member of the NPP. Yes, a very seasoned member of the NPP, Richard Nyama, for the removal of an appointee of the NDC to replace Emil Short, now Vivian Lamptey, Loretta Lamptey. Now what happened in that situation was the president set up a committee. The committee made a prima facie, the Chief Justice then, George Nawood, made a prima facie dissemination, was pending, okay, for the Eni-Ebua-led committee to make or to do the recommendation and the inquiry. President Mahama suspended. So President Mahama has a track record of suspending pending Article 146 proceeding. It is not something that is new. It's instructive to make the point that in 2015, when the Eni-Ebua-led committee made the finding that, quote, on stated misbehavior grounds, Loretta Lamptey ought to be removed, President Mahama acted in accordance with the recommendation of the Eniebua Committee and removed Loretta Lamte, consistent with his conduct and fidelity to the 1992 Constitution. President John Dramani Mahama has acted on the basis of the Puaman-led committee and its recommendation. It's a very simple conversation. The Puaman-led committee, and I say this with all humility, I do not, even for a second, say I am better experienced or knowledgeable in the laws of this country, of have better skill sets in evaluating evidence than my Lord Justice Puaman or my Lord Justice Asiedu, prominent jurists, eminent jurists on this 5-member committee. I do not think, and I say this with all humility, if I put the experience of all the 5 members of the committee together, I do not come close to that experience. They have, on the basis of the evidence before them, recommended that now removed Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Torkornoo be removed on the sole grounds of stated misbehavior. That's quite instructive. What it means is that the committee having assessed, because if you look at the petition presented by Daniel Ofori, it's a mixed bag in the sense that there were issues of incompetence, there were issues of stated misbehavior. If at the end of the day, the committee's recommendation is founded on stated misbehavior, then I surmise that it is because the other grounds have been found to be without merit. That for me is instructive. Because if it were not so, the grounds for her removal would have included incompetence among others. Now I have heard lawyer for Madam Gertrude Torkornoo now removed, my senior Ayuko to make the point that there were 3 petitions. And why did the president act relative to the petition involving Daniel Ofori and not the others? That has never been the position of the law.
What's the position of the law, Ediji?
The position of the law is that when you have multiple petitions and the facts are not the same, or the basis of the petitions are not the same, you don't consolidate. You take them one after the other. 2, because of the in-camera nature of the proceedings, you do not want a situation where you are having all 3 petitions hearings at the same time. Because then what will happen is that you have witnesses crisscrossing each other, and that will undermine. Now, when we say proceedings ought to be in camera, it does not mean a secret meeting. We need to make that point clear. What it simply means is that you have that meeting in chambers without more.
Not public.
Not public.
Okay.
From the Latin word in camera, hidden, closed door, in chambers. And that is exactly what has happened in this particular. So the idea that the president ought to have waited for the other petition to have concluded before taking this removal action is completely untenable. It is not founded in law. Let me just make this...
wrap up.
Yes, I just want to wrap up on this note. If you recall, the issue about removal of justices of our superior courts is not new to Ghana. I started with Tufo and Attorney General, the attempt to remove Chief Justice Apalu. I also came to the issue of post-1992, an attempt to remove no other person by Chief Justice Aban. And in this case, it is the Ghana Bar Association itself that took the extraordinary step of getting Chief Justice Aban removed. But you know what they did? An association of lawyers who, in the words of His Lordship Justice Kwabena Agyapong, ought to know better, rather decided to issue a writ for the removal of Aban. And like in the words of Justice Kweku and Agyapong, the very reason for the writ action, if concluded or the reliefs granted in their favor, would have resulted in the removal of Alban. But the Supreme Court threw it up. Then came Agyechum, Frank Agyechum, Bright Akwete interested party, and the Attorney General as well. So there had always been, one way or the other, attempts to remove justices of the Supreme Court. And like the record will show, Justice Utaderi and co. were removed. And so it is not something that is new to our constitutional arrangement. President John Dramani Mahama has acted within the strictures of the 1992 Constitution. He has acted based on the recommendation of the 5-member committee. The point ought to be made instructively. President Mahama does not have the power to vary the recommendation of the committee. President John Dramani Mahama does not have the discretion to say that the committee says I should remove. I, President, I will not remove. By so doing, he will be acting contrary to the 1992 Constitution.
All right.
That is what the law is, and that is what it is.
We'll come back because, Solo, what do you say to that, particularly when...
30 seconds before Solo comes, I want to read an extract from the Frank Agyechum decision I told you about. And this is the reasoning of His Lordship, Justice Esiama. Quote, if our notion of the judiciary as an instrument of justice is to endure, then the Chief Justice, who is the head of this institution, should not be seen to be manipulating the justice system by any overt or covert act of his by willfully promoting the prostitution or corruption of the system through meddlesome interference. If such a conduct becomes part of the modus operandi of the oversight responsibility of the Chief Justice, he will be seriously compromising his high office and be an anathema to our civilized society. The consequence that would inevitably flow from such a despicable conduct may render him liable for removal. This is the decision of our Supreme Court. I will yield to Solo.
Solo, the public domain, for us ordinary people, not lawyers, non-lawyers, so to speak, well, we'll say that we've always known a Chief Justice, even though there have been attempts to try to remove one or two in some instant cases. At least, should we go by the commentary that we shouldn't let it happen, but it has happened?
Roland, first of all, let me say that I would disagree with anybody that says that it should be difficult to remove a Chief Justice.
Why not?
It should be very easy. It should be very easy to remove a president, and it should be very easy to remove a Speaker of Parliament. Either than that, we would have a recalcitrant Chief Justice whom, by virtue of the fact that it's very difficult, would destroy our judiciary. When this matter started, and I'm very happy you quoted Afenyo. Why wouldn't Afenyo be sad? Under the able leadership of Chief Justice Torkornoo, he could go to court 12 o'clock, by 3 o'clock, he has an answer. So for sad people, it is right that they mourn. And I don't want to take him serious. Look, if there has been any Chief Justice who has disrespected the laws of the land, who has been so pompous, who has been so disrespectful, I'm sure, go and get the proceedings, what took place at the committee level, and read her behavior before the committee members. The insults, the yelling, the sort of behavior the Chief Justice put up, it will marvel you. And I'm very surprised anyway, they said they were holding it in camera. If the committee members would do this country a great service by just exposing 0.5% of the Chief Justice, the removed Chief Justice actions, I'm telling you, people will chase it out. Look, at a point, you know, she came to do a press conference. You remember that issue? And told the entire country that she had no clue about the petition. The Chief Justice, under cross-examination, herself admitted that she had the petition. Meanwhile, you were in the public space throwing dust into the people's eyes.
Under oath.
Under oath. Now, there was an instance where the committee made a determination on a matter. This woman looked at them and said, shame on you. Shame, oh, shame. A man talk about shame, shame. She did that at the committee and left them, and had to take their own lawyers to beg for the Chief Justice was the behavior. That's the sort of thing we are dealing with. A matter is supposed to be in camera. She comes to the public and holds a press conference because she knew very well that she had committed an offense and so had to do the propaganda bit, the political bit of it, ably supported by some elements within the New Patriotic Party. So is it what? You are mourning democracy? You will mourn because you have been part of her nemesis, the bad advice, the bad counsel that you offered the Chief Justice. Roland, you and I, at least this matter, we have discussed it on time. That my position was that she has to negotiate her exit out.
Well, you mentioned that months ago.
Where are we now? Now you have been removed as a Chief Justice, and not just a Chief Justice, but also a Justice of the Supreme Court. Really? And by extension, someone can even take you.
She can no more be on the Supreme Court.
No, she has no business. But now if there are files there, she go and pick it. And if you don't take it, they can even extend it to debar you. Maybe because this is misbehavior. You know, Roland, one of the things that I always get sad about is the fact that people treat the petitioner, Daniel Ofori, as a rag. What are we talking about? Do people know Mr. Daniel Ofori?
One of the richest Ghanaians.
Ghana Stock Exchange. He's the single most, he is the largest investor in our stock exchange. MTN, go to SIC, go to Ghana Commercial Bank, Gecko Bank. Between you and Mr. Ofori, who has this country at heart?
No, but who can even manipulate Mr. Daniel Ofori?
Daniel Ofori. Because they don't know him. People think that he's just a bystander. That they went and pulled him and said, oh, go and get Madame Torkornoo out. Let me say, President Mahama has behaved within the laws of the land. And I'm happy that a day after his decision, the general view out there is that, yes, though he's a communicator and a lawyer, he has rather behaved within the Constitution. And as a citizen of this country, all that I expect from my presidents is to behave within the Constitution. Once they do that, that is all. And I'm very happy that if a Chief Justice could travel with the husband and daughter and take from the country per diem when they are not supposed to, then, Mr. President, with this same alacrity and vim and vigor, get your Attorney General to begin to go for all those that have stolen from us. It's very important. We cannot leave it. And I like the vim, the tone that the president. This is what the people of this country are looking for.
Even though they said there is bad precedent, there's been.
Who is that bad precedent? Look,
I've had lead counsel, Nia Ikweotu, senior to.
Of course, if he was the counsel for the removed Chief Justice. If you go to war and you are battle like this, would you come and say there was a fair? But before the committee, he himself was part of those that were apologizing on behalf of the client for that behavior. Go and get a report, and you see the sort of person that we were dealing with. You understand? As we speak, the Chief Justice has taken us to ECOWAS court. You remember my rendition on A for task and then what that, Madam, take a cue from it.
All right.
Men of valor, men of conscience advise this woman that, Madam, negotiate it out. He said, no, Imbano. She wouldn't understand.
No what?
Imbano. The Nigerian would say, Imbano. I won't.
Ibano, it's gone.
Gone, eh?
Ibano.
Ibano. No. This one is Obake.
Oh, there's Imano.
Yeah, this one Imbano. You see, that's small Nigeria. That's small. You will let my. I nearly married a Nigerian woman, so don't take me for granted.
Okay. Jabunti Zato, PhD. What do you say to that? I think you and Solo had been two of many of the analysts and commentators right here on our platforms who had predicted. You said she should negotiate, that's Solomon, and you said that she's a goner. I remember you always use the word or the phrase she's a goner. Yeah. And it means that it doesn't come to you as a shock.
No, yesterday...
Or you are mourning?
Yesterday, September 1st, 2025, in the year of the Lord Anno Domini, the President of the Republic of Ghana fired the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana because she traveled abroad with her husband and children and spent some per diem. History will record these days as a sad day for the rule of law, as a sad day for judicial independence, and especially as a sad day for the separation of powers. We are all poor for it as a country. We are not better for it. I've looked at how the international media have even reported it. It's a sad day for us.
It is a sad day that you are doing politics with a purely constitutional matter. That's a sad day too.
If you look at this thing, it falls under two different. On the one hand, are proponents, the members of the government and the NDC. For them, they say, nothing to see here, see no evil, hear no evil. The president was just a conduit, an instrument that was just doing what the coach has said. So there's absolutely nothing to see here. Everything is fine here, nothing to see, just move along. If you look at the other side, members of the opposition, they also say, campaign promise made, promise kept. Because throughout the campaign, there was this issue that the Supreme Court has become a unanimous FC. And when we come into power, we must deal with this unanimous FC. So the sacking of this Chief Justice is seen as part of that effort not to make the Supreme Court a unanimous FC. So again, if you look at members of the opposition party and others, they will say campaign promise made, campaign promise kept.
So those are the two things. Who told you this?
Please, you made them flow. Let me also flow small back. They flew, let me also flow small back. So those are the two different standards that stand there that you can see. There's something students of IR say that war is politics by other means. And I also hypothesize that the removal of the Chief Justice is politics by other means. That you use it to achieve a political objective. The political objective here being that you agree with the premise that there's a unanimous FC. So in order not to make it unanimous, you must remove some people first, add a lot of justices to it, even though you say you will not do that, then change the Chief Justice, then make it not unanimous. So I think that is part of what has come to happen. And this history record this. This is going to be on the legacy of the President of the Republic of Ghana. President Mahama has done a lot for this country. As a member of parliament, as a deputy minister, as a minister, as the communication of the NDC, as the vice president. I think this is a legacy-defining presidency he has. He has come to define his legacy and stand as one of the most astute politicians of this country has ever produced. He's a Gonja. I shouldn't be saying this about the Gonja because I'm a Salaman, I'm traditionally superior to him, but I shouldn't be saying that. But that is his legacy. But this has damaged that reputation. No. This is going to be one of the biggest blot on his legacy as a president, because look, history will always remember that. History will always say that it was under him that this man was sacked.
Oh, Professor. For the record, you teach political science.
You know what is going to happen is that that is the legacy. It's a legacy.
Are you saying
the history of this presidency cannot be complete without mentioning the sacking of the Chief Justice. You cannot complete his legacy without talking about this. It has become an entrenched part of his legacy.
An oath.
If you are writing the legacy or the history of President Mahama, the sacking of Chief Justice will not be an anecdote. If you are writing the history of the President Mahama, the history of the Chief Justice, it will not be an afterthought. If you are writing the Chief Justice of the history of President Mahama, it will not be something that is peripheral or trivialized. No, it's going to be center stage of the history that will finally define him. And that is what is going to be. Look, there is something students of public policy refer to as path dependency theory. Basically, it says that events that happen tend to shape future events. Past events, even sometimes bad ones. They tend to shape future events. Thank you, that's what I'm coming. So, and if you see, Eduji gave a very beautiful rendition, starting from the Shira woman, that it happened. Just happened. And that's the path dependency. Today, it has happened up to here. We can make a very substantive difference between all those people and the Chief Justice, because none of them are a co-equal arm of government. We operate what is called separation of powers in this country under our constitution. That is that they will say the powers are separated between the executive, led by the president, the judiciary, led by the Chief Justice, and parliament, led by the Speaker of Parliament. We say they are equal arms of government. No president under this constitution has ever removed or sacked from office a co-equal arm of government. It has never happened. This is why it will take center stage here. Look, one of the things I've observed from
how is it that it's the president who removed?
He signed the letter. He signed it. It was. I've seen. He signed the letter. He gave the edict of
premised on.
He signed the letter. He signed the letter. He said you are fired. He said you are fired. It wasn't the judicial committee that said he's fired. The president signed the letter.
Yes.
Oh. Small flow I was doing now. I can't flow again. Anyway, so let's keep going.
Why did you choose?
Flowing on mischief.
Mischief, you're flowing.
Flowing on mischief.
I have seen.
It's completely unacceptable.
He can only forget when he chews. I mean, he has been giving.
That's all.
You cannot. If you are not permitted to flow in mischief.
Just throwing dust.
Just conclude. No, please allow him to conclude. He says that his premise is that it's the president who signed the letter.
Yes.
As a result of that, he is taking a hook.
Now, Roland, are you going to go by that position? We must educate the people. We must not allow that to throw dust into the eyes of the people. That someone petitions, a committee is formed, an outcome, a recommendation is made. The constitution says that whatever recommendation is made, the president has no other choice than to implement. And you come and sit here and deliberately.
Usually, I'm the provocateur.
All right, go on.
Today, you see, today,
the rest,
Solomon and Eduji.
The rest, yeah.
So, okay, let's go back to what I'm saying.
Yes, please.
If you have read and read that both.
You say you have done what?
Read.
Okay.
Both foot soldiers of the two main political parties love and hate this decision. Almost every NDC member that I know loves this decision. The former president law is the law, quoting the fire Chief Justice. And almost every member of the NPP that I've known also hates this decision. What it does is that it feeds into that theory of path dependence and says is that the appetite for firing of a Chief Justice has come to stay. If you become a new president today, and you do not fire the Chief Justice, your own people will chase you out of the Jubilee House. They will burn that house and chase you out.
Are you the one saying it, or you think that's what's happening?
I'm saying it. I'm just saying. So today, the point now becomes: if you are a president, you come with your own Chief Justice, and you live with your own Chief Justice. That premise, I'm saying that there is no appetite there among the populace to vary this. And that's what I'm saying.
At this point, you are not speaking like Dr. Zato, the political science lecturer.
He's an NPP member.
You are speaking as Dr. Zato, the man who could not win the Sisala East NPP primaries. Let the record reflect so that we can draw the distinction. Okay. Because I know in classroom you will say this.
So you see,
I have no doubt in my mind that in the classroom you will not say polluting the minds of the unlettered. It's unfair to our people.
So as we go,
please conclude for me. I give you a minute, please.
At the end of the day, history will not be fair to President Mahama for firing this woman. Thank you.
Which history? I'm telling you that if there is anything that this president has done that will go down in history as one of the best decisions, will be this one. Let the records reflect. And let posterity judge the two of us whether or not Zato's test of time will stand or John Mohammed's position on this matter will stand. I can bet my last this one that when I'm gone, dead and gone, the unborn generation will come and applaud this decision.
You see,
but there's an amnesty period that has been given.
Which amnesty?
Return to the NPP.
I'll grant them the NPP amnesty to our party. Don't worry.
No, but you see,
I'll grant the amnesty to our party.
I'm not bringing him because it's not.
No, you come in.
No,
Roland,
you will not come in.
For the sake of fairness, you see, there was a problem that the 1992 Constitution cured: arbitrariness. The fact that the president can sit at home and decide I don't like the face of this judge, I'm removing him or her. And so, in formulating the 1992 Constitution, they put into rate this protection against justices. This removal process, one, was not initiated by President John Dramani Mahama. That's the record. And we have established here, beyond doubt, that Daniel Ofori, excuse my language, it's not somebody you can
that
just
is what
go.
pains me.
You can just go. I mean, he's one of the richest known Ghanaian living today. President Mahama cannot pick a phone and say, Daniel Ofori,
He's
please,
an MPP member.
It's okay. You look.
Daniel Ofori is an MPP member.
A strong one. I don't even want to deal with the politics.
Do you know that?
Yes, I was in the MPP.
I want to deal with the merit of the issues. And so to the point that...
I hope I will also be giving you
yes,
opportunity
you
to deal
would.
with the merit.
No,
okay.
you would. All the constitutional safeguards...
That's the second chance.
The safeguards provided for in the Constitution, none of them. And I have listened to prominent NPP lawyers and politicians that they should point out one infraction of any of our laws by President John Mahama. And anytime you put that question to them, what they do is to sing lullaby. Is that what they call it? Yes.
Lullaby. Baby careful.
Baby careful. If you tell them, I mean, you've gotten me. Even provide only one law of this country that President Mahama has violated or breached in all this impeachment process, none whatsoever.
He said he signed the letter, so
I've seen the and you see if you look the year and all those matters. If you read what President Mahama signed, the Constitution places that responsibility fairly on him. Fairly.
Yes.
He does not even have a discretion. He's just an implementing agent under the circumstances.
Okay.
And once you put President Mahama, in fact, listen carefully.
You didn't even allow me to speak.
Listen carefully.
You interjected me through. I interject you once.
Dr. Zato were to be the president of the Republic of Ghana today.
Amen.
Do it.
And with that, and that responsibility is placed on him. Is it saying, by any stretch of logic, that he would defy the constitutional order? On the 7th day of January 2025, President John Dramani Mahama took an oath of office. Incidentally, before her ladyship now removed Chief Justice Torkornoo and said, go to the Constitution, the oath of office at the tail end. For the sake of clarity, let me just read. The oath of office of the president. This is the presidential oath. Presidential oath. I, having been elected to the high office of the President of the Republic, do so and so. I will at all times preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And this is even where it is even more important. I further swear that should I at any time break this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of the and suffer the penalty for it. Do you know the penalty?
What's the penalty?
Removal from office.
Now I would have started the process.
So the NPP expected President Mahama, this was their game plan, not to go with the recommendation. Then they will now start an impeachment conversation against him. That is what would have destroyed his legacy.
I see.
Thank you.
So at this point, you and former member of the NPP, now Movement for Change member, Solomon Owusu, you seem to agree on this.
What are we agreeing on? What are we agreeing on?
Zato says that no.
No, but that's serious. If we disagree.
And you see, of all of us here, the only person who is privileged to teach political science
is Dr. Zato.
Okay, so can I...
This is not cultural studies.
But very much so too.
No, but this is not cultural studies. In cultural studies, you are permitted to add emotions, sentiments to the conversation.
He cites the dependency
Oh,
theory, the path dependency
No, but the
theory.
point is
that part
The chain of path events could be replicated.
That is why in my submission.
No,
Doc, you can't.
And when they are talking, we're going for a break. We'll be right back.
No.
Name on social media as well, and on the side I can see Gyamfi Ato, PhD, just shrugging or shaking his head. But we're back. We need to look at all the issues. You want to say something before we move on, Gyamfi Ato? Because Akwetia, very critical to this.
What is the next issue? A point
no. Let's go. What's the next issue? Let's talk.
Yeah, the gas.
No, so
the gas.
Okay,
no, because you see, what doctor was trying to do was to situate President Mahama.
Okay, you're talking about the Chief Justice.
Yeah, but was to situate President Mahama in a very bad light. Knowing very well.
But he holds an opinion. Shouldn't he have an opinion for himself?
No, if he's saying that I'm sharing a personal opinion.
No, see, no. The issue is not.
You see, opinion does not follow facts and law.
No, that's not. You see, I just think that, Roland, I don't want to. Sometimes it's okay, the debate. You've not treated me fairly. I'm just putting that there, and everybody in the studio saw that you were completely unfair to me, and I'm not the type who cries on this bed. You were not.
I just went for a break.
No, you didn't. It was purposive. You did it to make sure that you blame what I was saying. I made sure that everybody that was talking, I respected everybody. I allowed to do it. Then the moment I came, they were tackling me left, right, center. But you left it go. But look, the point I'm going to make is that I've stated my point, and I think that this person should. I know that let's go. It's okay. Keep going.
No, he has nothing to say. That's the point.
No, I think as a political science lecturer and then also a politician, he has a lot to say. But for your conclusive comments, do you think posterity will judge as well at this point in time for this action?
No. I'm saying I've made that point clear, and I've said that the biggest achievement of the John Dramani Mahama administration so far is the sacking of this chief justice. I've said that. I've also said that history will remember this. History will never forget, and that based on this president is going to give birth to other presidents. It's going to make sure that any president coming up will have to come with your chief justice and live with your chief justice. I've also made that. Now, I've heard that there were some moves in Parliament to try to change this. I don't know what it is. I'm not a lawyer. I've also seen that the Constitutional Reform Committee is out there working. I don't know. They may touch on this. But the point must be made clear that this was a political. Look, politics and the sacking of the CJ becomes politics by other means. And we have seen that happen. And I'm of the view that we have just started a very dangerous, virtuous cycle. The question is, will there be any force in this country that will say, don't do this? Will there be any force big enough in this country that will tell politicians or the next president coming that, no, do not touch the Chief Justice, do not remove the Chief Justice? Is there any institution in this country that will be powerful enough to say, do not touch it? The only institution that can do that will be the citizens through an election. If they tell a president that when you go, don't remove the Chief Justice, other than that, I see nothing, absolutely nothing that can restrain or constrain any president going in the future from firing the Chief Justice. I see nothing like that. And that is why, for me, it's a sad day for democracy, it's a sad day for the independent judiciary, it's a sad day for the separation of powers, and it's a sad day for the rule of law.
I don't know how. No, but you see, it's important.
But let me also,
Please put their mics off. Put their mics off. Put their mics off. Put their mics off. No 30 seconds. No 30 seconds. Put their mics off.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.